Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. We are finally going to talk about the new compensation plans that are going on within BODi, formerly known as Beachbody.
It's about time.
If you are someone who has not heard about these changes yet, they impact the BODi partners, formerly known as coaches. Some of them still call themselves coaches. They do not benefit these people at all. They actually are a dagger to the chest, if you ask me.
Ouch.
And I wouldn't be surprised if there was a mass exodus within BODi in the coming months, because from what I understand, from what I've seen so far, it's not good. So this past week, one of the leaders that I follow pretty closely, she had a call with her team and they went over the whole compensation plan. And so that's what we're going to get into today. But before we do that, legally, I have to play this disclaimer.
Now you wanna stay tonight. Pretty how you weren't caught for me. But forgetting how to talk. Nah, I don't like no humble beats. Just go and suss it up.
Okay, now that that's out of the way, I have one more piece of housekeeping. As a commentary creator who reacts to other people on the interwebs that show their faces, I personally decided that I am not going to blur out the individuals in my videos that I react to. This does not mean that I am encouraging anybody to go and seek these individuals out. I am not inciting hate toward these individuals. Please do not send them mean comments or mean messages. That is not what my content is for. It is for education and most importantly, entertainment purposes only. And now that that's all out of the way, let's get the fuck into it.
Let's go. Hello and happy Monday. I almost said happy Thursday. I don't know why I have Thursday call in my head. Else I need you to go, okay? Happy Monday, October 16th. A little bit of a team call happening today. I do have a screen share that I'm going to do in just a second.
I need you to leave. I need you to go. She's talking not to an animal, to a child, just like publicly in front of her team. It just makes me laugh. I'd be lying if I said to you, like, I haven't been recording and my youngest comes in and I'm like, can you please go stand over there so you're not in the camera? Because if you don't know, I try not to show my kids on social media too much, especially not on my YouTube channel. So I can't really judge her too much, but it's just really funny to me that the first thing she says as she's getting on this call with her team is like, you need to go, child.
As soon as my kid gets with her dinosaur. Hey, can you go, please? Kyle, can you grab her, please?
Can you just f***ing go, please?
Just leave. Leave quietly.
A screen record. We're going to go over compensation plan. There are a couple things that have changed, and I'm going to keep it very simple. So I'm going to go over a couple things that are staying the same and a couple new changes. Most of the new changes will take place after the new year. And then with that, in the BODi Partners app, if you do not have the BODi Partners app, please make sure you have that, because that's where like the BODi basics is. And there's going to be dropping so many different trainings that are going to break down, because there's a couple cycle bonuses that you're going to see that you really have to work with. And I feel the same way with even like team cycle bonus. It just kind of happens. And the more you're on these trainings and the more you're kind of pouring and working with it hands-on and kind of seeing it in your back office, the more it'll start to make sense too. And again, some of these aren't starting till after the new year. So it's like, we're going to kind of gradually start dropping them without overwhelming you. So I'm going to go over a little bit of that. And then I'm going to go over a couple things as far as connections, because sometimes I think we just get in our own heads when it comes to connecting with people. And I just want to go over the basics again and kind of some of the things that I do and say and what helped me when I get into my own head.
Every time I hear connections now, I think of Ruby Frankie and what's her face. That word will never be the same for me ever again. Totally off topic. My apologies.
So let's kick this off. And I'm terrible with technology, so let's hope that I can get this down. Okay. We're going to do share screen, share. Okay, can you guys see Canva right now? Okay, perfect. I'm going to move your guys' faces out of the way, and I'm going to hit present, maybe. Present. Perfect. Okay. So we have the compensation plan, what's changing, and let's talk connection. So again, just exactly what I went over. And then I'm not going to read the chat because it's going to distract me. One, if you have a question, like honestly, feel free to just unmute yourself and ask. I have no problem with that. And then drop it in the chat and I'll go through it, or one of the other girls for sure. If you know the answer, like feel free to answer it, or I'll answer at the end too. Okay, so how do we make money? This is going to be, like I said, this is our compensation plan. It can be as complex or as simple as you want it to be. I will say that I'm almost 6 years into this business, and every single time I'm kind of learning as I go. You're never going to get it on the first time that you hear it. Every single time you have someone go over the compensation plan, whether it's me, whether it's Trina, whether it's Michael Neiman, whoever it may be, you're probably going to get something new out of it. So
that's the weirdest cover page to a presentation I've ever seen. Why is it everybody's legs and feet?
Makes no sense.
And then the one person who's wearing pants is really throwing me off. Like, it's not working out for my brain. I just don't. What does this have to do with the compensation plan in BODi? It's legs and feet of the people on the team. What is the purpose?
What does it mean?
I do want to go over, again, a couple things that are just going to be really simple for you. So as far as how do we make money, we have a couple different ways. These are all of the different ways. The bold ones that you see in here, those are new, and those are taking effect after the new year. So these are the things that are going to take place in the training. So first and foremost, we have commission. Commission is going to be dropping from 25% to 20%. And that's just something that they've done. If you haven't listened to the call from Carl and Michael Neiman, kind of explaining where the money is coming from and like why the kind of commission cutback, please listen to that. And they do a really good job explaining it. So does Christina.
Wait, I don't see what you're talking about.
Right here.
How is that a good thing?
This is not good.
How are we making this logical? If you're someone out there that has the call that Carl Deichler did to announce this whole thing and explain why they are decreasing everybody's pay, that is basically promoting the company, feel free to send it my way. But I can't find that, so I don't know exactly what his reasoning behind it was. Regardless, it doesn't fucking matter. If you're giving me a pay decrease, I'm gonna be leaving. You are telling me I'm not worth the measly 25% that you're already giving me, so I'm just gonna stay and be like, this is a good thing. I got a 5% decrease in pay. This is great. I totally get it. No. Immediately no. This is such bullshit. That one thing alone, honestly, should have these consultants, these partners, these coaches, whatever the fuck you want to call them, should have them up in arms. Like, this is unacceptable. It's a red flag.
That raises red flags.
What?
It's only showing the first page that says compensation.
Really?
Like it's frozen, maybe?
Do you see that? Hold on.
Like maybe it's cut off.
Oh wait, your screen sharing is paused. Why?
Screen share.
How do we make money? Do you guys see that?
Yeah, we can see that.
There's some protection
Yes.
thing not letting me present, because when I did have it up, it had like a big bold thing. So I don't know if there's like a privacy act or something. So we're just
Just
gonna
leave it like that. We can see it.
Okay, so just ignore all my pictures over here. This is my Canva when I upload and update things.
Not me yelling at the screen like, just click the fucking arrow and it will go away. Just click the arrow. It's right there. I know that has nothing to do with what she's talking about, but just want to be like, just get rid of it.
Okay, so how do we make money? So commission's gone to 20%. That will take effect after the new year. I think that one was after the new year. I should have had that exact date. And they're making cuts in different areas. They're adding different ways to make money. And one of the things that he said that really stuck with me was that they're trying to make our income more consistent. There's a lot of people within this company that rely on me, Brianna, we rely on this income to be our full-time income to pay our bills, to pay, to take care of our families. And so they're trying to make it not seem all over the place. And so as you begin to build your team, if you're consistently showing up, you're consistently working, you're consistently adding to your team, all of these changes are hopefully going to be something that is more of a reliable, consistent income. Okay.
That logic isn't logicking for me.
There's no logical explanation.
Let me know in the comments if it's logicking for you. I don't understand how lowering your commission from 25% to 20% is going to make your income more consistent. Where the fuck are we getting that from? It's just going to make your income less. I cannot make this make sense. I'm trying, and I'm recording late today. I just got my son to bed. It is 9 o'clock at night, so maybe that's why I can't logic it in my head or form a sentence, for the love of fuck. But this does not make any sense. How is this making it more consistent for you? This is what Common Core is doing to our world.
So commission is going from 25 to 20%, but commission is one way that we make money. Okay, and that's off of customers. When you go to Team Cycle Bonus, this is going to be off of partners. So as an Emerald coach, your Team Cycle Bonus is a accumulation. If you go into your back office and you look at your earnings and you go and you click volume, you're gonna have a left leg and you're gonna have a right leg. This is the placement of your partners, whether they're a PC or they are an actual partner, and anybody who has been added to that leg. So for me, for example, I have Brianna on my right leg, and then anyone that she adds to below her after she's joined me, they can also continue, like it kind of like rolls up and adds to my right leg volume type of thing. Okay, so like I know that she has Maria, and when those two are consistently enrolling, my right leg is very strong right now because I have these two girls who are on my right leg going up. So that's my volume on my right leg. Again, this can be very complex, so I'm just going to kind of cover it lightly. So you have your left and your right leg, and those are just the placement of your coaches and their coaches adding to that. So as an Emerald coach, this is another change. We currently make $14 a cycle bonus, and I'll go over to like what exactly a cycle bonus is in just a second, very lightly. And that is going to also drop to $12 a cycle bonus. Diamonds currently make $18, and that's going to drop to $16. And there's currently a rank called Ruby, which we don't really go over too much because it just kind of gets jumped over. That's going to be taken out, and that was where the previous $16 was.
There are no words for this. How is this good? I'm just going to keep saying the same fucking thing over and over again in this video, and it's annoying to me as it is probably to you, but how is this going to work better? How is this working in their favor? This is the beginning of the end, in my opinion.
Allegedly.
So a cycle bonus is you have, like I said, you have your left leg, you have your right leg. One of those usually has a stronger leg. For many years, mine were pretty even, to be honest with you, and they would kind of cycle out. And I'll explain cycle out in just a second. But now I have a really strong leg over here. And again, you don't have to have, like when you start out and you're equal, and there might be people that come in here and they'll be like, okay, you sign up right away and they automatically get a really strong leg, a lot of volume. So if let's say somebody who signed up just before on Brianna's right leg, just before Brianna or Maria signed up, they probably have a substantially strong leg on their right side as well. And that doesn't mean no matter where you're placed. Well, I'm not even going to go into that because it's going to be confusing. But as far as the cycle bonuses go, when I say that, you have your strong leg and you have your weak leg. In order to cycle bonus through and get your $14, currently, that's going to be after the new year, it goes down. To get your current $14, you would have, if it goes 200 into 100. So if you have your cycle, and that would be one cycle. So if you have 200 on your strong leg and 100 volume on your weak leg, it's going to cycle into each other one time. So you would get a $14 bonus. That adds up. It seems really low right now when you're thinking of it. You're like, oh, okay, what's $14? A majority of my paycheck is a cycle bonus.
Sounds like a pyramid scheme.
Sorry, ma'am, did you just say it's a pyramid scheme? The majority of your paycheck is not exactly from sales or auto ships or whatever they do these days in BODi, but it's from your cycle bonus, from your team.
Did the math over here. So if you have, let's say my left leg currently, because it restarts after, you do have some carryover, but it restarts every Thursday because that's after a payday. So if you have 3,673 volume points, this is from partners and PCs on your left leg. And then your right leg is 16,439. You can tell left leg is a smaller number. It's going to be essentially your weak leg. It can shift. It can zero out. You can be strong at, 1 week and then it flips over. So it just, every week is different. So when you're looking at it, whatever the higher number is your strong leg. And whatever, of course, the lower number is your weak leg. So if you take your lowest number and you divide it by 200, you're going to get your number. So as far as dividing into 3,673, I divide it by 200. That gives me what did I do here? Divided by 200. Oh, it was 18. And then because I'm a diamond coach, you times it by 18, and that would be a $330 team cycle bonus. So that's a pretty big amount. Again, as you're working through it and you're seeing it, we'll explain it more, but a lot of people like to look at it and be like, you can look at your volume ahead of time and be like, okay, this is my volume on my left leg. This is my volume on my weak leg. You can kind of predict what your paycheck's going to be the following week. So again, it just kind of, your volume is going to be different. Take a look at that. Try to work with it a little bit. It does get confusing. You will not get it on the first try, but that's kind of how a cycle bonus works.
So what she's saying is you have no idea what the fuck your paycheck is going to be until you get paid. I've never been in a position, except for when I was in MLMs, and I've gotten paid commission and hourly, and I've never been in a position where I had no idea what the fuck my paycheck was going to be until it came. Yes, I was in BODi for a very short amount of time, but I was tricked into joining BODi. I didn't even know I was in BODi, and it was Beachbody at the time. So I was a coach and I had no idea.
The trick was so shocking.
But I don't really understand how individuals who voluntarily join BODi don't see all the red flags at this point. It's not a carnival.
Then we go into a matching bonus. This is really cool once you are a diamond coach and above. So for me specifically, I'm a star diamond coach, and I have emeralds below me. So I actually make 10% of what my emerald coaches are making on their cycle bonus. Now, it's a matching bonus. I'm not taking from any of them. I am matching that 10%.
I'm pausing a lot, sorry. So she says she's not taking from them. On paper, she's not, but actually those coaches, those partners are doing the work. So they essentially should ethically be getting that money, but somehow MLMs are out here getting away with rolling that percentage up to the enrollee, the sponsor, whatever it's called in the specific MLM, and they're getting away with it. But technically, she is taking money from those individuals because they did the work to get that money to BODi, and BODi is giving you that cut from their sales, from their auto ships, from whatever they did to bring in that money.
So if Brianna makes $126 cycle bonus, I'm going to get 10% of that into my own paycheck. And it can, again, that adds up as your coaches are doing things and you're replicating and you're growing a team. That matching bonus really does take effect, and it's cool. Like I said, you have to be a diamond rank to receive that, and then it only matches your emerald and above coaches. Then you have, these are the new ones. As the trainings kind of come forward, we have our quarterly diamond bonus. This is a new bonus that takes place every quarter. There's 4 quarters in a year. What they used to have was you had a bonus, like a quarterly bonus on a 2-star rank, a 5-star rank, 2, 5, I think 10, and 15. I think those are the 4 that we had. And now they added in a diamond bonus. So if you are 1-star diamond or below for holding for 6 weeks in a quarter, you will, not or below. So diamond or 1-star, like you can't be like emerald qualifying for this. So diamond or 1-star, you hold for 6 weeks in this particular quarter. You are actually going to get 12% of what BODi made as a whole that quarter. And that's exactly how all of the quarterly bonuses work. I spelled bonus wrong there, voice. That's how all of the quarterly bonuses work. And it's cool and it's different. I will say, like, the first quarter usually pays out more. BODi is bringing in a lot of money. People are starting, they're kicking off like the new year, the new meet goals, and the BODi partners as a whole aren't necessarily, there's not as many in the pool. So it does depend on how many partners are in there. At the end of the year, when everyone's trying to hit those end of the year goals, that 4th quarter pool tends to be a little bit smaller. I've noticed when I get those. But it's just another way that, if you are like I said, 1-star or a diamond coach. You hold for 6 weeks in that quarter. You also have to have 10 Success Club points throughout that quarter, and you will get paid out whatever that 12% is of that quarter. Really cool. I know personally, I'm constantly shooting for the 2 and 5-star bonus. And as you start making more of those, like when you are, let's say I get the 5-star bonus, not only do I get the 5-star bonus, I also get the 2-star bonus. So they stack on top of each other. I'm unsure if they will, I don't think they're going to stack on and do like 1-star, 2-star, 5-star type of thing. And then the new one is the PS team volume bonus, monthly bonus on volume by the PS. Now I'm going to be 100% honest. This one is still quite confusing to me.
Just this one?
But essentially it is monthly bonus on volume. Yeah. So a monthly volume bonus on the volume of their PS. So you're making a bonus off of your coaches having higher volume too. So if your coaches are accumulating a volume of 250 to 499, you're going to get up to a 4% bonus of like percent of that. Now, this is going to be confusing. I'm not going to go into it. There's going to be more trainings back there. Just know this is a new one launching at the end of the year. And the idea is that if your coach below you, your partner is bringing in a high volume, you're going to make a percentage of that, which is you duplicating your business. Now, then let's say that, so you have me, then you have Brianna, and then let's say we have Kelly. So then we have Kelly, let's say Kelly is doing a substantial amount. And then they're like everybody, the idea is that everybody's building a team and then everyone's getting a little percentage of that. Everyone's getting a kickback from it, which is really cool. And this is going to be a really like big growth, sustainable income area when it begins to grow, once it kicks into effect. And this is the one that Michael Neiman, if you watch the call, was doing a good job of like breaking down, and like he shows all the graphs. So this is going to be the one that has the graphs, that's showing percentages that you're really going to want to pay attention to see where it's coming in. But this one pays out monthly. Okay. So that, and then I have this really cool graphic that Danny Detra had created, and I would take a picture of this. I also have it. I can just send it to you as well.
This is your definition of a really cool graphic.
But it's a really good breakdown to say like, hey, if you want to make $100, like these are the exact sales that you need to make to get it in different areas. Like if you want to make $100, you can sell just 8 Energizes and you can make $100. You want to make $1,000, like 13, you have to do 13 total solution packages, 10 sales of 3 body bike studios. Body bike studios, those were really great around Christmas time to really rank up that commission, by the way. But I just think this is really cool, especially with Christmas coming and different things. If you're like me, like you have a dollar amount and a goal in your head. And if there's like something like, let's say I needed to pay for a plane ticket and I knew it was going to be $3,000 and I need to make that $3,000 as quickly as I possibly can. I can go to this and be like, okay, what do I need to do more specifically than just, breaking down necessarily your team cycle bonuses and stuff like that.
Can we talk about this for a second?
Go for it.
Let's talk about it for a moment. So as an actual business owner myself, I have spoken to financial professionals, and any financial professional that I've spoken to in the past regarding like taxes for self-employment and when your taxes aren't automatically taken out of your check, the general rule of thumb that every tax professional has told me is to put aside about 33% of that of each time you're paid, so that you have enough put away to pay your taxes when that time comes. This chart is giving you the amounts pre-tax. So out of that $1,000 that she's showing you after taxes, you're netting $670. So if you want to purchase a plane ticket that's $3,000, you're going to have to sell way more than what this chart even says. And that's beside the point that I really want to make here, because to make $1,000, that's nearly impossible for the typical person. I'm sorry, what? 33 BODi monthly subscriptions.
What?
which I've mentioned this in a previous video, that there are so many other options out there that are free or less expensive than BODi and don't promote the garbage that BODi promotes in terms of unhealthy relationships with food as well as unhealthy relationships with your fitness. So I don't know how easy 33 sales of BODi monthly is going to be in order to just get $670. $670. BODi annual, you just have to sell 14 for $670. You could sell 32 bags of a protein shake that tastes like absolute shit.
Tastes like shit.
For $670 to go in your pocket. 73 Energize. This is just, it's so unrealistic. And I hate that they're making it sound so easy. She's like, oh, if I had to buy a plane ticket for $3,000, I just go to this chart and look at what I need. No, because this is pre-fucking tax. Y'all don't do the tax math because you think that everything is a tax deduction.
You write it off. Who writes it off? I don't know. The write-off people.
And it's not. When tax time comes and your deductions are kicked back for not actually being legit deductions, you're going to have a rude awakening and you're going to owe a lot of money. And if you don't put that money aside, it's going to really fucking suck. I don't know. I might be speaking from experience.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
Also, while we're on the topic of that, if you've never owned your own business, you may not know this, but if you're filing your taxes under a tax ID number, you have a tax ID for your business, and you receive a refund for 2 years in a row, you are then declared a hobbyist and not a business owner. You can no longer operate as a business. And what's interesting is that I asked some people who have been or are in network marketing if around tax time do you get a refund or you owe, and more than half of them said they got a refund. These are important things to know when you're getting yourself into an MLM, because at some point they're going to say, that's not a job, it's not a business, it's nothing, you're doing this as a hobby. The IRS is going to tell you that. That was a long spiel, all to say that this chart is pre-tax. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Again, I can share this too because I really love this personally, and it's a great way for new partners to kind of see, like, okay, like it's a good breakdown. All right, so let's go into any questions on any of the commission stuff. Like I said, I wanted to go over it very lightly. We can work with it. I'm going to pull up the chat really quick. When you say volume on the legs, is that like when they buy products? The volume on the legs is going to be like when your partners and your PCs buy. Yes. So that's left and right leg volume you have, which is your team volume. And then you also have your personal volume, which is your PV. And that's going to be from customers and yourself. So there's two different PV, TV. The bike is on sale right now. I did not know that. Okay. No questions. Perfect.
I just got an email that said it's like, I think it's like $200 off or something. It was like 18 something. Now it's 16 something.
I just love the BODi Bike Studio, and I don't think I'll ever steer away from it.
I think that's the studio. It's like 16 instead of 18 right now.
Oh, gotcha. Love that.
Or I'm positive that's the studio actually, but
I know there's a lot of controversy around Peloton, but as a Peloton fanatic myself, I would never recommend BODi's Bike Studio or whatever.
I'm not recommending it.
They don't have very many classes from what I understand. So in my opinion, that's a total waste of money when you can just go and even rent a Peloton. You could get a refurbished one. There are many options aside from BODi Bike Studio. Even the Echelon. I've heard great things about the Echelon as well.
Yeah, hammer that one out for
going
Christmas.
more towards Black Friday, you think?
I'm sure they'll do some pretty good Black Friday ones. But the commission on that is just so dang good.
I know.
Okay, let's move over into connections. Okay, so we're gonna look at this. You're looking at your feed. So if you were to pull up your own profile, this is old. My numbers are old here. Obviously the pictures are old because none of those are starred anymore. Anyways, if you go and you pull up your own feed, you should be able to tell a lot from, just pulling up the basic pages right there. What does it communicate about you? Is it relatable? What sets you apart? Are you copying and pasting? Where is the struggle? Wins? What problem do you help solve? And that's really what's said, like kind of at the top here too. Like you want to make it, and Instagram's using this with their algorithm too. Like Instagram is, when you are putting these little keywords up here in your little bio, like that's also how Instagram is sorting you out. And so you want to put exactly like, what problem are you solving? So if you are, you know, a new mom helping mothers with postpartum depression and community and weight loss, like that's something you would put on there.
Immediately, no. If you have no qualifications to help somebody through postpartum depression or just through the postpartum period of life in general, then you should not be putting that in your Instagram bio along with helping moms get fit. By the way, are we noticing that she's not mentioning like put in your bio that you're a BODi partner, because they need to be as inconspicuous as possible so people don't immediately say, no, I know this is an MLM, I'm not falling for it. They want to try and get them roped in before they can say that so that they can see if they can change their mind and convince them to join this bullshit company, whether it be for the subscription to the workouts or for the bike or for the Shakeology. They want to see if they can change their minds.
But I'm not changing my mind.
There's just so many things she said that were wrong in that split second that makes me want to throw something, but I'm too tired for that shit. She's so problematic, just encouraging this behavior to be going on within her team. No.
For me, it's coach. I'm virtually helping busy moms and health and build a business, because that's huge for me. I like to bring people in, building a business by coach mentorships, home fitness, and bestie support. Work with me, and I have a link.
And what? And bestie support?
What?
Are we in fucking 7th grade? Bestie support. Imagine going on Indeed and you're like looking for a job. You just graduated school. Maybe you're a personal trainer and somebody puts a job description up that says, we offer bestie support. Fuck no. Run the other fucking way. Bestie support?
So if you, whatever your niche is, when you niche down, you want to make like a kind of like a bold statement and put it into this bio. Yes. Okay. So make sure you kind of do, and I'll go over a little bit more what's in your page. Make sure like you can tell the 5 hats that you wear from your page. My ideal clients, we kind of talked about this. What is their age? What is their stage of life? These are different things that you can help like kind of trigger like who you want to reach and the different pages you want to go to. What is their age? What is their stage of life? What is their profession? And go through this every couple of months, every couple of weeks. Like, you know, when you're pregnant and then you're postpartum and then, you know, your toddler life or you have preteens, like we're always in different stages of life, and your target market can and will change. And I think that's really important to know. What is their profession? What is their income situation? What do they laugh at? What stresses them out? What are their dreams, goals, aspirations? What are their fears and frustrations? What are their values and beliefs? What's stopping them from getting what they want? Now, again, when you're looking at these and you're asking yourself these questions, 9 times out of 10, you're answering these questions yourself, and that's who you're talking to. You're thinking of your own objections that you had. You're thinking of your own goals that you have. You're thinking of the mom that you were before you joined and how you can help that mom later on. And these are the things that you need to think about when you're posting, when you're talking in your stories, when you're connecting with other moms, when you're trying, or not moms, it doesn't have to be a mom.
Can we just leave moms alone? Don't we have to go through enough as moms? Even just as humans? Can we just leave the humans alone? Go recruit fucking zebras or something.
When you're trying to connect with people, these are the people that you want to connect with based off of these answers that you're giving. My ideal client. So again, like this is, you know, you can tell who my ideal client is from my stories here. You know, I'm cooking different foods. I also share a lot that I have pizza and I like to go out with my friends. I have daughters. I like to be outside and reading, and you can just tell a lot about me from my profile at a very quick glance. Because when somebody is scrolling and you do the same thing, you're scrolling your Instagram and you click on a profile, you don't spend much time there at all. So if all you see are body ads or, you know, just all body, people are going to be like, that's all she has to offer. But people are going to join you because they like, know, and trust you. So you need to be sharing those other things about you that can connect with other people. And you should, like I said, you should be able to tell right away from looking at your profile. Okay, the value of thank you. I think this goes a really long ways, and I think it's so much more than just saying thank you too. Of course, when people are commenting, say thank you. My newest thing has been people, I don't know why I never did this. People will follow me and I'd just be like, oh, cool, I got a new follower. And I would completely ignore it. Like I wouldn't ever even click to their profile and like try to be like, hey, like what brought you into my profile? Like, thanks for following me. Thanks for loving on, every time you send an invite, it doesn't have to be like, or someone likes your stuff, it doesn't have to lead directly to an invite. Hey, thanks so much for the love and support of my page. It's not always the easiest to be this vulnerable. I do a lot of vulnerable posts out there, and sometimes I share a lot of things, and it's hard to come out of your shell. And sometimes just saying thank you can build such a genuine conversation with people, whether you're doing it in a DM or you're doing it on a comment of a post you said. So just like recognize people and don't go into people's inboxes with just a mission all the time. Like you're wanting to build genuine connections and, really want to keep people here. Okay, tell me about you. They should already know a lot about you. Take relationship building slow. Never send a cold invite. If you don't feel a connection, don't force it. So this is kind of like what I was just saying. When I say don't send a cold invite, if they're watching your stories and they're liking your stuff, that's not a cold invite. But just because someone followed you.
If they're watching and commenting on your stories, that's not a cold invite. Okay, sure. But maybe they just want to like your story. This is what I mean when I say there's always an agenda. Like she said, like don't immediately message them when they just start following you and invite them, but eventually that's where it goes. There's always an agenda, whether it's somebody that you've known for 5 minutes or 5 years, there is going to come a time where they invite you, quote unquote. And that time may happen more times than once. Even I did this. And I was encouraged to also ask more times than once because you're planting seeds.
Or just because you see someone's page. And I will say there's been a couple people where I follow their page. We've never talked before, but I'm like, this girl needs to join me. And I tell her that. I'm like, hey, this is really weird. I just stumbled on your page. I think you're awesome. I think we have so much common. You need to do this with me. Here's why. I have done that like a handful of times. But other than that, if you just see a page and you're like, you're just scrolling, you guys have never talked before, like you've never liked each other's pictures, she's not watching your stories, you're not watching her stories, don't send an invite to her. That's weird. But if you don't feel a connection. So I was saying yesterday on Coffee Talk, I was like, okay, let's go through our connections right now. So something I like to do is I go into my profile and I click people that I'm following and I go to the 50 least interacted with. So Instagram has it all done, however they do it for you. And this is how I do a lot of my weeding out. And this is how I do a lot of my connections. So it lists 50 people for you just right in there. And if they haven't posted in the last couple of months, they don't have a story, I unfollow them. If they're a boy, I unfollow them. But I also look at their page and I'm like, okay, do I have something in common with you?
If they're a boy, I unfollow them. That's not sexist.
Of all these pictures you posted and stories or anything like that, do I want to be your friend? And if I don't force it just because I'm like, oh, I need to make 20 connections today. Like if I don't like what you have to share, and I think that we're probably going to butt heads politically or spiritually or kids or whatever it may be, I'm going to unfollow you. And that's okay. I think for the longest time, you're so caught up in like, I want everybody to join me. Anybody who likes my stuff, I want them to join me. I want to get all the money. I want to build my team and this can be so great. And then those people start dropping off because you actually don't have anything in common. The people who have stuck with me, I have so much in common with and they become my best friends. And I think that is the value of really building a strong team and building those strong connections ahead of time. I also want to point out is that you don't have to have 50 coaches underneath of you to be a 10 or 15 star diamond team. You need to be a diamond coach. You need, okay, I'm not gonna say diamond coach. If you want to be a 10-star diamond coach, if you want to be a 5-star diamond coach, you need 5 people who want to run this business with you. Okay, like it doesn't have to be that complicated, and you don't need to have huge numbers in this business to make it.
What business are you running? Because, as I've said previously, if you search the CEO of any MLM, specifically in this video, we're talking about BODi, Carl Deichler will come up.
Not me.
Not Hermione.
Not you, not your team. You're not running any business. You are a glorified street team for BODi. You're a promoter, a club promoter, fan club promoter. I'm aging myself here, and that's okay. But us 90s kids may remember like when a new boy band would come out or any kind of musical artist would come out. There would be a fan club, but there would also be a street team. A lot of times you had to pay to get into the street teams, and it was kind of like a fan club, but a level up where you were going out literally on the streets before social media existed and talking to people about these musicians. And that's what I think of when I think of these people running their businesses. You're a street team. You're raising awareness around a brand and recruiting people to do the same. And you're paying to do it and getting paid bare minimum to do it. We're not children anymore. We don't need to be part of the street teams.
Okay. Listen for problems. Our programs, products, community will solve. Time, energy, confusion, accountability. If you're scrolling through some people's things, people get vulnerable on their stories and people get vulnerable on their post, and don't take that opportunity to like shove this opportunity down their throat, but connect with them. Be like, hey, like I see that you're struggling with energy, and I know mom life can be hard, and we're running in 75 different directions. And then you can, depending on your relationship with that person, you could either be like, I see you, I'm here, or you can be like, hey, like, I don't want to say shove the supplements down and be like, hey, I have energized for you, but make it a relatable story too. Like, I used to feel this way too. I really took time to start focusing on myself. Then when you start focusing on then they're like, oh yes, you're right. I started focusing on myself. And I started focusing on myself, and I take 30 minutes to work out. And then my energy, once I get up at 5 a.m. and I work out first thing before my family, I'm able to really pour into my family. And you're kind of answering their questions with the things that you're doing. This is how I was before. This is how I'm feeling now because of these steps that I took. Would you like to try them? Like, but get it, be relatable to them. Like if they're struggling over, energy, and you're struggling over energy, I don't know, probably not the best conversation to kick off and be like, oh, I'm really tired too. Like, you don't want to fumble down together. I don't know, but think of how you can help that person, but be relatable to it. And like, this is where I was. I always say that this is where I was. This is what I did to fix it. This is where I'm at now, type of thing.
I think that less and less people are falling for that type of relationship building where somebody makes a post like they're tired, like she's talking about here, and somebody messages them and says, I totally get it. I tried Energize and it worked for me. More and more people are seeing through the bullshit where even if you don't mention Energize, but they know like you're in some type of MLM where you promote these types of things, they're going to know what's coming next. It's not as easy to get away with, I guess is the phrase I would use, as it was in years past when social media was really starting to take off. People see through the bullshit now.
Okay. Do you give off fire, energy, excitement, and belief? Oh my gosh, be contagious, please. There is nothing worse than getting on somebody's story and seeing them be so negative all the time, or just monotone. I mean, if you're a monotone person, I get it, but I always want you to ask yourself, like, I don't want you to be somebody you're not, but like, ask yourself the energy that you're giving off. Like, would you join yourself? Like, if you're like, just if you're complaining all the time, and just really trying to make it seem like you're forcing a sale, or I just really want this to work and I really want this business to work, or I really want to lose weight, but I just can't get myself to stop eating, but you have no solution to what you're complaining about, nobody's going to want to join you. Now, I'm not saying you have to be fake and show up on your social media fake, but like, be like, yeah, you know what? My nutrition, and I've been doing this a lot lately because if you follow me, my September was a complete shit show. My workout sucked. My nutrition sucked. Like, I was just not on track. And I owned up to it. I was like, yeah, here's my after picture of me just being a total fuck in September. And I don't know what happened. But these are the steps and the tools that I'm taking because I have them available. And like, I'm so excited for this. And, I understand life happens, but we don't always have to be perfect, and I'm human, and we have ebbs and flows in life.
The display of self-love is just so loud.
But like, join me in this. You want to join me in really doing these few simple things of making sure I get 75 ounces of water in, making sure I'm following my containers, and really limiting my drinking to only 3 times in that month or something. Like, this is where my struggle is. This is what I'm going to do to fix it. Do you want to do it with me? And I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it because this is what I need to do for myself to show up as my best self. And that's what people see. That's what people hear. That's when people want to join me. The sorry invite. This is a good one, you guys. I use this and I love this one. I forget about. There's so many like invite scripts things that you can use. But I just wanted to share this one because it's a good one. This is something that you could say when you're having a connection with somebody and you're going back and forth and you're like, I don't know how to make that turn. Also, I'm so sorry. And you don't have to say also. You can be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that I haven't asked you this yet. I know you see what I do as a coach because you're sharing it in your stories. They're commenting on it. Maybe they're not necessarily commenting on what you do as a coach, but they're commenting on everything else. So obviously they're sharing that. They're seeing that. I know you see what I do as a coach, but my doors are always open to you if you have any health and fitness goals for yourself. You can jump into my next boot camp if so. I love our community of women seeking to feel their best and honor our bodies. Would you like to learn more about my empowerment studio? It's my boot camp. So simple. That's my name of my boot camp. Like, you could obviously tailor this to yourself. But like, this is from like, hey, we've been having conversations back and forth. I am so sorry. I completely forgot to invite you to this. This is what I have going on right now. I know you've seen it, type of thing. Super simple. Keep it lighthearted. Oh, this is good. An empty inbox. If you wake up with an empty inbox, you didn't do your job the day before. Mic drop.
That's such horseshit. If you wake up with an empty inbox, you suck. No, that is false. If you wake up with an empty inbox, it means that you left people alone or they see through your bullshit and they're not going to respond to you.
Your inbox on your Instagram or Facebook, whatever you favor, should never be empty. Ever. When you wake up in the morning, you should have people responding. I mean, unless you're a night owl and you close it at 12 p.m. and then you're up at 5 a.m. Like, that's a little weird. Do what you got to do. But your inbox shouldn't be empty. You should constantly be commenting on people's stories, asking questions so that they have something to respond to. And then your inbox will be full.
That sounds so exhausting to me.
And make sure you get to it. That's my guilty fault. I'm always like, I need to empty my inboxes, but they're always going. I'm always commenting on people's things. So they build up really fast. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. I have so many things. So I literally have to be like, okay, I'm sitting down, I'm setting a timer, I'm answering all my inboxes, and I'm just going to go. And I'm just do. And, then it continues the conversation. Asking questions. Where did you get that? What are you doing? How are your kids doing? Christmas is coming. Holidays are coming. What are you getting them? Do you carve pumpkins? Do you paint pumpkins? Where did you go to that pumpkin patch at? Where did you get that cute fall outfit? Where did you get those boots? What are you doing for Thanksgiving? What kind of recipes are you doing? Ask the freaking questions. Where'd you go? That's a great picture. Oh my gosh, congratulations on the baby. How are you feeling? Congratulations on the wedding. When are you going to plan it? Are you going to do it here? Like,
does she even actually read and listen to their responses? Or is it just to get the algorithm to work in her favor and to get her name in front of people so that they keep seeing her content? That all really leads back to BODi. What's the real reason we're doing this?
So many questions you can ask by something so simple that you see on someone's story or social media. That way, questions, they get back into you. You're creating a genuine connection. Wash, rinse, and repeat. This is huge. One of the number one thing that I have told Bria, I'm going to use Bria as an example because I can't tell you how many freaking times I told her this. And we would have one-on-ones and she'd be like, I'm doing all the things. It's just not going the way I want. And I would just keep telling her, she was doing team calls. She was doing, mentorship. She was showing up in her social media. She was inviting. And all I kept saying was, Brianna, keep going, keep doing it. If you're not seeing the numbers fast enough, double up. Send, instead of 5 invites, send 10 invites, but keep going. And she's like, okay. And I mean, literally, you guys, if I don't even have enough fingers and toes to tell you how many times I told her to keep going.
And she said in the beginning of this call that Brianna was her strong leg. In Colorado, we have an injury lawyer, and his punchline is that he's the strong arm. So whenever I hear like my strong leg, that's what I think of. Also, Scary Movie. Anyway, I am so tired that things are just going awry. This is almost over. What was I saying? Okay, so she said that Brianna was her strong leg. So was she just saying like keep going to keep herself going, or to actually help Brianna? Things that make you go,
And now when we talk about it, she's like, I'm so glad you told me to keep going because I'm seeing the effects. She's getting ready to go to an all expense paid trip to Vegas for NLC, which is a great trip. You know, she's gone in Success Club trips. She's earned her way to a diamond retreat, multiple diamond retreats. Like, you just have to keep going and believe that this is going to work. It's not going to happen every day. 90% of the time, your invites are probably going in your connections, might be going into a request folder. So that's why you got to be commenting and liking on their stories and hoping that you're building those connections and hopefully they're seeing your name and that type of thing. So you got to be building it from all different directions in there too. So wash, rinse, repeat, keep going. What you do to this month, next month, and January are going to directly affect the pace that you have in January. If you let your foot off the gas now and say, you know what, I'm a little bit tired. It's been a long year. I just kind of want to coast through the holidays. You're going to have to take 3 months, January, February, March, to even remotely get back to where you are right now. In this business right now, if you let your foot off the gas, it's going to take you 6 months to get back to where you were. So keep going. I don't know why those pictures aren't showing. They're in this little one. Genuine connection building. So again, follow and connect, comment, like, post, respond to stories, new follow message. When they follow you back, connect, eye contact. Do not ignore them. This was my thing. Like I said, people were following me and I was ignoring them. So I was like, wait, I'm going to follow you back. Let's conversate back and forth. Build a relationship. Tell me about you. Track your relationship. Check in each week. You know, watch their stories, have those conversations. If you're posting about your groups, it would be jerky not to invite them.
Is that a word aside from food? Jerky. Don't be jerky. Jerky. It is a word. Huh. The more you know. Jerky is a word. I didn't know that. I need to go to bed.
Some people need to know that they're invited. I had a girl who's been following me for so freaking long. And I finally just sent an invite to her and she was like, yeah, I'd love to join you. And I'm like, what? We've like literally been in each other's inboxes and like talking, and I see you watching my stuff for like years now. And I just thought because she watched all my stuff that I didn't need to invite her. Yes. Okay. So we're going to get kicked off. We have a minute and 25 seconds. I hope that helped with the connections. I hope as far as the compensation plan, it's so hard. The compensation plan, I love it, but you have to love it and you've got to work with it. So individually, if you want to like pull up your volume and be like, what do you mean by that? Like, how do I figure out how many times I'm going to cycle bonus through this? What's my weak leg? What's my strong leg? Like, just reach out to one of us, your upline, and we can help you break that down. It's a lot easier to look at your specific back office and be like, okay, these are your numbers. This is where you're at type of thing. And just know that there's going to be trainings in the BODi Partner app.
I was actually really hoping that she was going to go more in depth about the compensation plan because, like I said, I can't find Carl Deichler's fucking video anywhere. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But I mean, I think that was a pretty basic overview where we can get an idea of what is coming down the pipeline for BODi. Honestly, in my opinion, allegedly, from what I understand, this could very well be the beginning of the end. If you are cutting the pay to your partners by that much of a percentage, it's not a good look, and it should raise some major red flags for the partners that are already in BODi. If you are somebody that is in BODi and you're watching this video, please know that it is okay to leave. I would encourage you to find a way out. I just don't think this is going to go well over the next year or so. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed now. Thanks so much for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit, and I will see you in the next one.